Well, another victory, man, sitting at 3-0. You love to see it. You love to see it, man. So you know we got to react to that thing, man. But, of course, on the front end, don't forget to hit the like button one time for the culture and subscribe. As we get a chance to sit back, relax, and enjoy being 3-0. Winning our home opener as well. Salute to that. Salute to that. I mean, it just feels good. Yeah, Steelers girl, we lit. It's up right now. Come on now. Oh my gosh. And the way that we did it. Ooh, extra physical, extra physical. We even had young Fields up there slinging that thing. Ooh, oh. We should have had, 27 on the board, low key. But we gave him a little mercy. We show him a little love at the end. But yeah, that was one of the ones right there, man. And can I talk my defense too? You know we gotta talk about the defense and that daggone pass rush. Let's go. Let's go. Oh yeah, the Don Hefe Quan Najee's getting talked about. You better believe it, man. Like what I saw from him today too. Absolutely. Yeah, Herbig, one of the ones we're gonna talk about him. Yeah. That was a good one. Man, that was a good one. But you know what? Let's get into it, man. Let's start it how we normally do. Go ahead and drop it in the comment section where you are tuning in from. So then that way I give you the big boy shout outs to start the day's show. But yeah, that's one of them ones, baby. We got one. We got quarterback play. Let's get it. Yeah. The Steelers Girl 517 tuning in from Lansing, Michigan. As always, salute to you. Jaron Pittsburgh Steelers for life. I'm seeing the 559 Visalia, California. Erica Esslinger. I butchered that. Esslinger. My bad. The 910 North Carolina. Salute you being here with me as well. What up _ Jules in the 480 Phoenix. Love that. Yeah, Jar Devil in the 310 San Pedro, California. Yeah, we got to send them Cali kids back out there to Cali. They were tough, but they got that Cali tough. We showed them Pittsburgh tough today. It just hit a little different. All right. 805, still a boy in the 805 Oxnard, baby. Shout out to Oxnard, California. Beautiful place. And we got JMK, so saucy in the 803 Rock Hill, South Carolina. Not to be confused with North Carolina. Shout out to my Dukes, though. I tell you that, baby. We got real comfy down there in Charlotte. In Chapel Hill. Excuse me for that one. All right, Tyler Alvarez in the 727 Florida. Yeah. And then I'm going to end it with the homie X Concepts in the 724 Claridge, PA. And he says, I blame Coach Tomlin for being 3-0. You know what? I do too, man. Today was such a Tomlin win. Oh my God. Like, you mean to tell me this is not one, not two. We've got 3 Tomlin wins to start the season out. Oh. What you mean we're going to run the ball and play defense? What do you mean we're going to win a game and we're not going to score 30? Oh my, there's no way we're going to beat the LA Chargers with just scoring 20 points. I mean, this can't happen. This can't happen. Well, it looks like these Tomlin wins, just keep stacking them. Hey, man. What they say, they don't ask how, they ask how many. So, I'm liking what I'm seeing, baby. I'm definitely liking what I am seeing. But, let me get my couple of my thoughts off first, and then from there, obviously, we got the super chats coming. I'm gonna get to you guys, and then of course the chat as well. We definitely get right, man. But I thought a couple of things early on. Like I said, I thought the Chargers started off a little bit more physical than us. I thought they had a little bit more energy at the beginning of the game, and offensively and defensively, they were kind of dictating the action, and that was partially why they were able to get the 7-point lead. Now, the thing that I liked, though, was how we responded. It seemed like every time the Chargers early on were kind of giving us some issues or having some type of positive momentum going, we seemed like we were able to kind of respond. at some point in time. And that's the thing that I thought was really good to see, really encouraging, because that was part of what we wanted to see from Justin Fields. If Justin Herbig gets going and he's throwing his ball, can you respond? Can you lead some drives as well? Because I thought Herbert in that first half was playing like really, really good, man. He was being patient, taking what the defense was giving him. The offensive line for the Chargers were blocking a lot better. And from a pass rush perspective, we weren't really taking over the game like you saw late. But I thought that after, once we got to that second quarter, I thought that's when we started to shift a little bit more in our favor. That physicality really started to pop up a lot more. And it really showed in the sense of how we were trying to turn back the run, but more importantly, how we were still maintaining just the commitment to running the football from our side, even though we weren't getting a ton of yards with it. I mean, we know at the end, that's when Najee, popped the explosive run, and it made it a lot better for us. But prior to that, they were doing a good job of kind of stymieing us, but we kept going to it. And I think that that's a testament to Arthur Smith. But from there, it was good to see, man, with Justin Fields, how he kind of settled in this thing and would take the throws that the defense was giving him. I thought that he had a couple of high-level anticipation throws that were really good to see, man, when the Chargers were giving him some of the too high looks, just waiting on those in-breaking routes, man. But it's one of those things where if you wait until it's open, it's too late. But by him being able to anticipate some of those throws, man, it really put a strain on the defense and specifically their secondary. And that was part of what showed even at the end when you look at the Calvin Austin touchdown. It's like, man, when you're anticipating to throw like that, you're one missed tackle away from it being a big-time play. And it was really good to see that Calvin Austin was able to step up, because we obviously know what we've been talking about, wide receiver 2, and we need more production there. But today, I mean, this was Calvin Austin in my eyes, or from my perspective, I thought it was his best performance as a wide receiver, and not just talking about some of the games where we've seen him have one catch that was, 70 yards. It's like, no, he really, I thought, had some timely receptions today, and he ended up with 4 catches for 95 yards. He obviously had the 55-yarder for the long, but 4 catches on 5 targets. To me, man, I did like that part. I thought that that's what we needed, and it was very timely, especially at the end of the game, because there were parts early on where it was like, man, all right, we can't really connect with Fields, or we can't really connect with Pickens like we want to right now, because they were kind of taking him away. What is the response? What is the answer? So it was good to see that Calvin Austin was able to make a play late in the game, and that's what we're looking for. If you're doing that on a week in and week out basis, well, yeah, we don't need another wide receiver in here. We feel confident about what he brings, but that's going to be the big question, man. Obviously, Van Jefferson, he had the eye injury, so we couldn't really, get a good, performance from him today. And the surprise scratch was Roman Wilson. Wasn't on the injury report. He was actually healthy, but they decided to go with Dean Lowry and give him the additional helmet instead of it being Roman Wilson. So interesting to see, with Roman, where he'll be next week, potentially, if, he's able to get into a helmet, or if he'll be another healthy scratch, because I think that was a little bit of a surprise when we just think of what Roman potentially brings from a receiving standpoint, to think that, man, we got to do that. We drafted and we're saying, yeah, we'll sit him now for this week. Well, why? Right? So that was one of my things. But it was good to see, like I said, from Calvin Austin, man, him step up, make the play that we needed to have made, and ultimately help us get about that stadium with a victory. A victory. Now, sticking with the offense too, man. I thought offensive line wise did a good job. When you have a Khalil Mack and a Joey Bosa in the stadium, that's not an easy thing to deal with, man. Obviously, we know Joey went out, was that midway through the second quarter with the injury, but he got hurt with Broderick pancaking him. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not cutting slack because he got hurt. It's like, yo, Broderick pancaked that man. Shout out to Broderick. But that was what ultimately happened in terms of injuring the hip. But I thought that, man, Khalil Mack, he had his play early on versus Dan Moore. I think he had another QB hit, but as a whole, he didn't terrorize this game. And Khalil Mack is in the same vein of the TJ Watts of the world, of the Aaron Donalds of the world, the JJ Watts. That's a DPOY caliber guy. That's a guy that's been a menace for a long time at this level. So when you think of just how we were kind of able to minimize his impact, I thought, man, it was really good. And I also just got to go back to Justin Fields, man. I thought that dude, pocket awareness, thought his ability to anticipate with some of the throws, I thought that his touch on certain throws, and just the accuracy. Like, that was what you wanted to see. That was a big reason why he was drafted as high as he was drafted. And that's the reason why a lot of people have been high on Justin Fields, man, throughout his career, even with the inconsistencies and the lack of production at times. Because of that, he shows you the ability to utilize his legs. He shows you the ability to utilize his arm. He shows you the ability to lead. He shows you his toughness. I mean, all of that was on display today. And when you think about that, that's why, you get intrigued about him being here. And yeah, we know Russ is still here, but it's like, man, when he's playing like how he played today, how do you take him off the field? I think that becomes more of the question now. And this is the concern if you're Russell Wilson. When you allow the door to be open for multiple weeks and you allow a guy with the caliber of potential and talent that Justin Fields has, it's like, man, eventually this guy's going to get better. This guy's going to continue to start to show more. And I thought today, man, he showed a lot. So that's the tough part now, because if he keeps replicating this, it's like, man, nobody's about to take that off the field. Not at all. I mean, let's see what he ended with. But I said, I know he had two something. There we go. 25 or 32 for 245, I tell you, in a pick. And the pick, oh my gosh. I mean, you talk about some fluky, lucky, shout out to Bud Dupree, but I mean, tip pass flies up in the air. But yeah. Obviously, you have the rushing touchdown as well. But to me, man, I think that's, the danger that Russ has kind of put himself in, so to speak. Because just from my perspective, 3 games in a row, 2 on the road, tough style, then you win it today. Lot more impressive in terms of just your ability to throw the football and utilizing his legs. I'm like, how do you not have him out there next week, man? Like, until you see him play bad or until you see him not look like how he's been looking and continuing to go in the direction that he's going, I think that has to be the guy, going into next week. But we'll obviously see what Coach Tomlin says come Tuesday at the press conference, man. But I was really, really impressed with him, man. Now, when you talk that defense, Lord. TJ Watt said he's not playing no games, man. I know Joe Alt Delete, he's a bad boy, right? Came in 0 sacks, 0 pressures allowed against Crosby, 0 sacks, 0 pressures allowed against Parsons, and all these other people. I think it was Parsons, yeah. But didn't matter. No. I said, no, man, goodness, it wasn't Parsons. But it did not matter, man. When you talk about TJ Watt, he drew the holding penalty on him early in the game, and then sack, cook him. And then what it also had, he had the half sack later on in the game. I don't know if they counted that officially or not just yet, but he had that as well. And that was the play where Joe Alt obviously got hurt. I think Cam ran into his legs and stuff like that. But to me, TJ was just letting everybody know, I'm that guy. Do not play with me. I'm him. And I agree. Then you look at the other side, man. Alex Highsmith, we know he left the game with a groin injury, but he did have a pressure. He should have had a sack. Let's be real. Beat Rashawn Slater. Ultimately missed the sack. And I think that was the play where TJ drew the holding penalty as well on Joe Alt. So with that, though, Highsmith goes out with the injury. And the same way we talked about Justin Fields taking advantage of an opportunity. Shout out to Nick Herbig. Whew. If you was digging what you saw from Nick Herbig today, hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe, all right? Because the young fella, told you, he's ready to ball. He's ready for the breakout. That's been the guy I've been kind of like talking about throughout the offseason, right? Since the OTAs when I went down there and saw him, I'm like, bro looks legit. Bro looks ready to go. Only issue is he got TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith in front of him, man. You saw what he did in the preseason. Finally got him a legitimate opportunity with an extended amount of playing time because of Highsmith going out. And this dude turns around and gives you 1, 2 sacks, right? And the first sack against Rashawn Slater. We talk about Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater, man. Those are 2 of the young marquee tackles in this league, man. Or at least for Slater, he's a little bit more proven. Obviously, with Alt, first couple of games have been very high end. We'll see what the rest of it looks like. And hopefully he's not too banged up with the injury he sustained. But when you think about that, Nick Herbig, man, cooked him. Strip sack. I mean, not only are you giving me the high-end pass rush play, but even the mental awareness to hunt the football. We're not just trying to get a sack. We want the ball. I love that. Now, obviously, Rashawn was able to recover it, but then he came back later in the game and had another sack. That time versus the backup tackle. Super impressed with what I saw with Nick Herbig, man. Love the way that he's been playing, but like I said, man, this is no surprise to me, man. The way that he was working all off season, you watched him. Anytime you saw him at OTAs, mini camp, you see him at training camp, he was in TJ Watt's pocket. Just like, yo, come on, man. But you want to see that from a young guy, man, soaking up all the knowledge and information he can from the best pass rusher in the world. And it showed today, man. It was really good to see both of those guys out there thriving the way that they were. And regardless of, how long Highsmith is going to be out or if he's able to come back next week, I feel like, man, with Herbig, you got to keep, giving him some more opportunities, man, because he flashes, man. Every time he's on the field, you can see it. And I thought today was another one of those opportunities, man. He took full advantage of it, man. So was definitely impressed with what I saw from Nick Herbig today. A couple other dudes, man. I know everybody been hollering about Patrick Queen. When we going to see some plays? When we going to get some more action? My man was flying around today. Led the team in tackles, was downhill from the start of this thing. I love the passion and energy. You could tell him and J.K. Dobbins were former teammates because as soon as he got a chance to hit him, he fired off on him and was barking at him. Yeah, bro, you know what time it is. Because that's how it is, man. Whenever, you get a chance to play against one of your former teammates, it's like, yo, I don't get to hit you like this for real in practice, but you going to get this work today. And it was good to see that, man. He obviously had the PBU, we'll call it. But PQ, you should have caught that, man. Should have been a pick. All right, I don't want no PBU. I want picks. Hit him right in the hands, man. Excellent job, though. Obviously showing the athleticism, the burst, the ability to cover, and, make a play on the football. But I thought that he looked really good, man. Sideline to sideline was fast, man, and really turned back that physicality. I thought all three linebackers, man, when you're talking about Patrick Queen, when you're talking about Peyton Wilson, when you're talking about Landon Roberts, all three of those dudes made timely plays. I thought Peyton Wilson really stood up versus the run, especially because when he was out there, he plays in the nickel and sub package personnel groupings. So less D linemen out there, but it was good to see that he was still able to stand up like a big dog and make plays. E-Rob did what E-Rob always does, right? Be the physical guy out there, be the boom, boom. And then from there, what did he do? Also get the big time sack, man. Excellent job by him too. It was in coverage on the back, but he's so aggressive, he's hug rushing it. So the back starts to slip out the front. He's like, bro, you're not going to be able to get the ball to this guy before I can hit this quarterback. Excellent job right there by him, just understanding, hey, what do I want to do in this game? How can I dictate it? And you got one or two options, man, when you're at linebacker. You can either run with that running back, and now he's dictating the action, being that it's in coverage, and you got to run with him. Or you dictate the action by saying, all right, you better block me, because if you try to run over there, I'm going to hit your quarterback in the mouth before he can get to you. Very Vince Williams-esque with that play, man, but I loved what I saw right there as well. And then, can I talk? Let me think. Because Minka was obviously doing that Minka stuff. Love what he saw. Love the tackling. JPG, I thought tackled well today. But going back real quick, can I talk O-line? Zach Frazier. Bro, that's one of the ones, man. He's been looking good. Like, good. You feel me? Like, I know he was good, but he's like, yo, he looks good. Every time I'm seeing him on tape, like, oh, you watch him out there today? Man, he was moving people. It's like, I don't know what it is. He just get the touch. He was like, come here. He contacts like, well, come here. He's so smart. I can hear him the whole time. Flipper, Bronco. Flip, Bronco. I'm like, bro, you checking you doing the protection every time, bro. So not only are you dog-like, not only are you, fundamentally sound, but you also got that mental where you're able to check you're checking the protections back and forth. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually a good check right there. Man, they was trying to trick you. That's actually a good one right there too. Shout out to Zach Frazier, man. We also got a chance. We saw, who else we saw today? Oh my goodness, McCormick, the young boy. Yeah, we got a chance to see him out there also. I don't know if it wasn't. I don't feel like him and Spencer Anderson were rotating, but Spencer Anderson definitely was like off the field for like a couple of times, and then McCormick was out there, and I felt like Spencer came back. So I don't know all the way what was going on with that, but I do feel like both of those guys played well. I like what I saw from McCormick, but yeah, I wasn't sure what the rhythm was with that. Obviously, we know, Spencer Anderson is still very young in this league. McCormick is as well. So I'll wait to hear, what Coach Thomas has to say about that, man. Maybe they were, doing something. I don't know. But like I said, I just got to see what that was, man. But let me think. Those were the main dudes that kind of jumped off the screen to me, man. But like I said, shout out to Broderick, man. Obviously, we talked about him, coming into this game. And, wasn't the best performance last week. Troy Fautanu ends up going down in practice on Friday. gets put on injury reserve. Everybody knows that now. And, open the door for Broderick to get back out there. I liked what I saw from him, man. It wasn't perfect, but when you talk about a guy having to respond, how do you respond to the adversity, right? All of last week, man, the criticism, having to live with the performance, having to live with, man, they pulled me for this young guy, and everybody's talking about how good the young guy is, right? But it was good to see that Broderick could come back out there and mentally be back where he needed to be, and I thought he did a really good job, man. So shout out to Broderick for that, and we're going to need him. Like I said, man, with Troy, he's going to be out for a good amount of time. We're waiting to hear more information about what actually happened to him. But everybody's saying, man, it's indefinitely. So with that, Broderick's going to have to, continue to be him, continue to step up, and you got to rally around him, man. And I thought it was really good to see him do that. And this is another big reason why you don't trade a Dan Moore prematurely, right? I know a lot of people were talking about, oh, get rid of Dan Moore early on, but it's like, man, this is why you keep a guy like him, because we have stability now. We still had another option, man, because injuries do happen, man. So shout out to those dudes, man, stepping up today. And ultimately, man, helping us get that victory, baby. But I liked it. And I'm mad that my man Boss had to have a miss, But if he had to have a miss, at least it was from 62, all right? It ain't no regular miss. A 62-yard miss is legit, okay? So shout out to Boss for that, man. But with that being the case, man, I'm about to go ahead and turn this over to you guys. I see the super chats coming in. I see a lot of people in the regular chat as well. So shout out to all of y'all that are here with me today, man. If you're digging what we are doing, celebrating this 3-0 start to the season, hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Take a little sip. All right. And now we got these 4 o'clock games on. Let me see, man. Who's out here? You got Seattle up 10-0. Baltimore and Dallas started. Carolina up 7-0 versus the Raiders. Okay, got a little Rams and Niners. All right. I like it. Let's get it. All right, so we got Richard R. Bezo showing a little love. He says, through 2 quarters, Waitman looks legit. Shout out, JMU. Yeah, he said this at 2 o'clock. Shout out to you, Richard R. Bezo. Man, from the heart, baby, from the heart. And yeah, man, I thought Corliss did his name, man. He has a very powerful leg. Like, you watch him, it's not a ton of shanks. Now, I think the flaw, or where he has to continue to get better, is working like the touch or the changeup, right? It's either like feast or famine. He don't have a lot of the short, the one where it like drops and bounces back, man. But I think that's the part for him, man. Once he adds that, man, he could be so much better. The sky's the limit for him. But I thought he did a good job, man. So shout out to Corliss Waitman as well. All right, Raymond Kane. Shout out to Raymond Kane. Yo, Moats, make sure you tell Deke to keep that same energy when he talking about Calvin Austin this week. Ooh, shout out. All right, and let me go right back real quick because Richard Arbizo did say shout out to JMU. For those that don't know, JMU did win yesterday 70-50 versus UNC. So, yeah, shout out to my Dukes. Another big time win, man. Advancing also to 3-0, man. It's just 3-0 type weekend right now, all right? We're just feeling real undefeated like. But, yeah, Deke will have to, Deke, he doesn't have an issue when his guys play well coming in here and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm rock with him. I like him now. So, it'll be good. But the thing with Calvin, man, this needs to be the case more often. If he's playing like that on a more routine basis, nobody's going to be talking about bringing in another wide receiver. We need this. Nah, we'll be saying, man, we got Calvin Austin, and Calvin is stepping up, and he's more than capable, and he's the guy. And it's not just because Calvin is small. We've seen small receivers still have success and produce in this league. Devontae Smith over in Philadelphia, he's a very small, thin receiver. Thrives, right? We talk about Tyreek Hill. We know that he's a little bit more of a thicker player from, just the legs on him, but he's still a very small guy as well. And when you talk about him, his ability to play in this league and thrive, I mean, there are a good amount of guys that are undersized, quote unquote, for the position, and it doesn't matter. If you can produce, you can produce. So that's the thing with Calvin Austin. If he keeps playing like how he did today, then yeah, I think we're in a great position with him going forward. But the big thing is we just got to continue to see that, because Today, unfortunately, has been more of an outlier for Calvin than the norm. But I'm ready for this to be it going forward, though, man. Shout out to Calvin. Richard Arbizo also says, zero credit for wins, but all credit for losses. Boy, ain't that the truth. I already know who you talking about. He says, Coach T is underrated somehow by our own fan base. His track record of winning winter and now winning in September. I would agree. He is one of those guys that's in a weird position of, as great as he is as a coach, I do agree. I do feel like he's very underrated amongst, when we talk about the greats, or even when you just talk about currently what's going on, man. But shout out to Coach T, man. He does not waver. He is not moved by any of it. And he understands what the mission is, and he understands that the standard is the standard. And it was good to see once again that regardless of who is over there on that other side of the field, he is going to have his team prepared to go for 4 quarters, and they're going to do whatever it is required to weather the storm and ultimately come on top with a victory, man. So shout out to Coach T, baby. AJ Martinez. Shout out to AJ Martinez. AJ says, yo, I predicted 27-10. 1 rushing, 1 passing, and 1 TD for Najee. I missed it by a foot. No, that's facts, man, which is kind of crazy, bro, because if Najee was like selfish, then yeah, you already get that, and there was no issues at all. If Najee and the coaching staff were trying to do things to make sure his numbers looked right, you would have had it as well, man, because they would have went ahead and snap that ball one more time and let Najee go ahead and run that thing again. But unfortunately, the guys were being nice. The guys were being good guys. So yeah, no additional touchdown. But man, it looked good out there. 20-10, man, double-digit victory versus a Chargers team that a lot of people, were high on and thought that they were going to be able to beat us just because, stylistically what they could do and, how they have been producing thus far. But unfortunately for them, we're a little bit different than, the Raiders and the Panthers. For us, we a little more physical, got a little bit more playmakers out there on offense, defense, special teams, and, it showed up. So shout out, man. Let's get it. Oh, I didn't mean to unlike you. Let me hit your ass. Hit that back. There we go. Then AJ Martinez being a rock star, like paying it forward, giving an upper room membership to, I can't see right now, but, and shout out to Mike Cook, also following up AJ's style. Also paying it forward, man, gifting 5 upper room memberships. So Mike Hood and AJ Martinez, because of you both being rock stars at life, paying it forward, shout out to y'all and to those 6 individuals. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. Like when we get these victories, baby. See, victory streams are way better than non-victory streams, all right? So we got to keep this thing going. And yeah, Chris Aries, I do agree. Cordell Patterson was most certainly a key pickup, man, or a huge pickup, man. When you think about how he was running that football today, extra physical down the stretch, man. He was the closeout back. It wasn't Jaylen Warren. It was, we did Najee for a little bit in the first half, or Najee was more so the first half, but late in that 4th quarter, we went Cordell Patterson, and his ability to hit the ball or hit the whole downhill, and then you see his burst and how he's falling forward. It's like, yo, you don't play him like he didn't look like a former wide receiver. He looked like a big body running back with burst. And yeah, it was really good to see that tandem, late in the games. Now, with Jaylen Warren, I think for him, he's still coming back from the hamstring, man. And part of it, I feel like, is the team or the coaching staff, Coach Tomlin, Arthur Smith, just being smart with them. Because they do know that, number one, it's a long season. But also that with hamstring injuries, man, they can linger. They can come back to bite you, down the line. So you just want to be real careful with that, because with Jaylen Warren, his game is explosive. He's not the type of dude that doesn't have these sudden movements or isn't going to have to burst and go full speed for 60 yards. But with that being the case, that puts a lot of stress and strain on the hamstring. And with it already being compromised, you just don't want to overdo it. And right now, they've been kind of able to keep him limited. But Najee's been able to do his things in terms of being consistently productive. And then you also have Cordell Patterson, who, like I said, has also been looking good out there. So in that sense, it's allowed Jaylen Warren to kind of get right, which is a good thing for him. So I just think that for him, once he gets back to fully healthy or closer to fully healthy, we'll see his role in usage definitely pick back up. But for right now, the fact that we're winning the way that we're winning and not having to utilize him, it's a great sign. Richard R. Bezo says Browns and Chargers kept opponents to 20 and 21. Yup, sure did. And took L's. Love to see it. Even though it was crazy, man. That Browns receiver, I didn't see what number he was, man. But that ball hit him like right in the chest, man. Whoever number, I think it was number 19. Yeah, hit him square in the chest. I'm like, bro, you gotta catch that, man. When the money down. And then, the Chargers go, man. Chargers, real good defense. Real good defense. Yep. Held us all to 20. Just 20 points. Yep. Shout out to them. They should feel good about themselves. All right. We got Javon Kinley. Javon Kinley says, just won $750 with bonus bets from the promo code Moats. Shout out. Yeah, that's the DraftKings vibe right there, man. So for those of you that don't know, not today's show, but we do have a promo code because we rock with DraftKings. They sponsor a lot of our main podcast shows. And yeah, man, with the new deal that they got going on over there, your initial, deposit $5, get $250 back in bonus bets, and you can use that money to, bet for even more opportunities, or put it in there for even more opportunities to get more money. So it looks like my man Javon took advantage, had to use the promo code Moats, and yeah, it looks like we got a victory. So we winning. Hey, just dubs all across right now, man. I like it. All right, let me see what Mike Hood's talking about. He says, best thing about 3-0, the chance to be 4-0. You know what? I kind of agree with you on that. And the other thing that's cool about being 3-0, not a lot of people can say they 3-0. It's not a lot of people out there that's on the 3-0 vibe. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I like it. We are. Hey, now. They used to be. The Chargers were, they were 2-0. They don't know what that 3-0 feel like, though. No, they ain't been 3-0 today. Nope. Shout out to Black and Yellow Texas still joining the upper room. So Black and Yellow Texas still, we live, baby. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. All right. CWK. Shout out to CWK. Says, is the Steelers the number one defense in the NFL? And do you think Justin Fields earned a starting job? Hey, now, I like these questions. I like this a lot. So, the answer to both of those questions is yes and yes. If the Chargers were considered the, number one defense prior to today, or statistically, at least at the start of the season, I think that we look better than them. Yeah, I like our defense, though. I just think that we're really complete. I think that we're healthy and we have playmakers at all three levels. When you can rush the passer the way that we can rush the passer, that's going to put you at a competitive advantage in half of the ball games that you're going to play in. Then when you talk about the ability to have cover linebackers, guys like Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson that can run sideline to sideline and cover, having that physical veteran guy that can do all the other blitzing stuff that we saw also in Landon Roberts. You talk about our cornerbacks, right? Joey Porter, but then you got a Dante Jackson who has had a ton of interceptions throughout his career, and you could already see the splash that he's already brought to the Steelers secondary already. Then you look at safety, and it's like, man, you got a Minkah Fitzpatrick who's all-world, and a Deshaun Elliott who is a heck of a complimentary piece to him, man, in terms of being able to be physical, but also provide coverage and, as we saw from him as well, splash in the turnover department. That is just tough to deal with. And now when we talk about the depth players, right? You got a Nick Herbig that comes in there. You got not just a Keanu Benton, but you got a DeMarvin Leal, right? We talk about it at LB Spy. I already named Peyton Wilson. Okay, so it's like you got multiple guys that are coming in that are showing you that not only can our starters make plays, but we also got guys that can come off the bench and still be productive. And I just think with that being the case for us, that's a big reason why I do feel like we got the number one defense. And in terms of, do I think Justin Fields earned the starting job? Yeah, it's like How do I take him out right now? I can't. I think it's his to lose right now, solely because of I'm watching him play in game, in stadium, and he's improving each and every week. And not only is he improving, we are winning in the process. So when you talk about 3 consecutive wins, 2 on the road, 1 at home, the quality of the opponents, right? I haven't seen him play bad. I haven't seen him make the costly mistake. Even the interception today, I mean, let's be real. The ball gets tipped up in the air by 3-4 different people, and then it finally, gets picked off. I thought as a whole, the decision making, the intent, the accuracy, the overall command that he has of the offense, to me, that's the stuff that you look at for QB1. And we obviously know what both of the contract situations are. We also know that the youth element that he presents, and it's like, yeah, the more I can see it, the more you can get acclimated with it, the more trust that him and Arthur Smith continue to build up, the better it should potentially get. And I thought that today just showed another step forward in his progression, man, and his overall process of playing QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, could that change? Yeah. He come out here next week and stinks the bed up, then yeah, it's a big difference, but we haven't seen that just yet. And we can't make decisions based off of the thought of what could go wrong when it's like, yo, this is what's currently going right. And to me, I'm like, yo, we don't see anything negative happening with Justin Fields that, from my eyes, tells me to take him off the field. We know what he did in Chicago, but this ain't Chicago. It's Pittsburgh. It's Arthur Smith. It's Coach Tomlin. So, yeah, I like him at QB1 right now, man. All right. Shout out to Child of the Corn. Child of the Corn says, Fields the next Cordell? Shout out to Cordell Stewart now. If you know, you know. He says, great dub. Props to everyone. Now, shout out to you, Child of the Corn. And, Slash was that dude now. Slash was that dude. We'll wait. We'll see. Let's let him develop. Let's get a larger sample size, but I like it. I mean, the Chargers defense pretty good. I'm trying to think. Denver's defense pretty good. Atlanta's defense, yeah, they're pretty good. All right, man. He got a chance, man. He has a chance. Got to keep it going. All right. Got black and yellow Texas still. He says, Justin Fields is better than Kyle Allen. I'm with you, man. I agree as well. Black and yellow Texas. I know what he was talking about. But if you're talking about Josh Allen, then sure. Yeah, he could be better than him too. Because, Josh is the most overrated quarterback in all the NFL. Of course he is, man. All right. Let's go. We got Cliff the Dark Knight. He says, no way Phil sits next week versus the Colts on turf. I'm with you, man. I'm like, you can't sit them right now, man. These are 3 masterful performances. 3 masterful performances, but 3 high-level performances where he's only gotten better. And I thought today was a masterclass versus a defense like the Chargers where you got pass rushers, you got playmakers in the secondary. Yeah, it's not easy to do. It's not easy to protect the football. It's not easy to avoid the big mistake along with, the way that Justin Herbig was playing early on. Now, at the same time, I will agree, or I won't say I agree. I can understand the other side of this thing, though, because I'm sure there's going to be a side that's going to still say, well, Justin Herbig getting hurt took a lot of pressure off of the Steelers just in the second half of the flow because obviously, Herbig going down offensively for the Chargers, they became very limited, and it was almost comical, watching them try to attempt to throw the ball because of the way our pass rush was, getting after them. So in that vein, sure. But at the same time, it's like he started to go out there and take over. He started to go over there and take the win, When Herbig went down, if I remember correctly, they were still up. Or it was a 3-point game. But then from there, you start to see Fields start to lead another drive. To me, I still think that is more than enough, man, because these are 3 in-stadium performances that, yeah, he should be the guy next week versus the Colts, man. Like I said, I can't take him off the field for that one, man. I thought he looked really good out there, man. And he's getting more comfortable, and that's the other part with it. He's getting more comfortable, and we're also seeing Arthur Smith becoming more comfortable with him. And those 2 guys building that rapport has really led to the best version of Justin Fields that we've seen from a professional stance, Like, this dude looks good. He's not turning the ball over. He's leading the squad, man. and the production is there, and we're winning. Shout out to Yule Young. Yule Young says, why do NFL teams risk the health of their star QB on one game when it could ruin what could be a 2-decade career? It's a 2 to 3 week injury, just rest them. That's easy to say from, where we're at. We're not employed by these organizations. We don't have the pressure of fan bases, of owners, of the media saying that if you are not winning, then you suck and you need to be fired. When that is the world that you live in on a day-to-day, you put yourself through a lot and you risk even more because that's what is required of you to, last at this level. That's the big reason why so many, players play through injuries, and why a lot of dudes, when they retire, their bodies are altered so crazily, man. But you understand the pressure of the situation, but you also want to be great. And it's like, I can't be great if I'm not out there. And some of the greatest moments in terms of, football games have happened because of a guy having to overcome injury, a guy having to play through adversity. And I think for Justin Herbig, he's one of those guys that, is always going to go out on his shield. And I think that sometimes you might want to try to protect him from himself, but this is a dude that plays through all type of stuff. I mean, it's no different when we talk Brett Favre. Brett Favre played through so many injuries. Ben Roethlisberger, right, played through so many injuries. With those dudes, man, it's like you just take it, the good and the bad that comes with it. So that's, from my perspective, the reason why the organizations aren't more cautious with those guys, because they look at them as, this is an asset. And yeah, I would love for him to be here long term, but at the same time, I obviously know it's a business model, and that's just kind of how they operate with it. But the bottom line is the bottom line, and I get more money if you out there playing. He's gonna get more money, as in that other owner, if you're out there playing. And that's why they got the best doctors in the world, the best trainers in the world, and they just kind of take it how they take it with that. Now, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that. But from my eyes, that's just kind of the vibe that I get in terms of why they play them dudes the way that they do, man. All right. We got Michael G. Shout out to Michael G. He says, feeling kind of undefeated right now. That makes two of us, baby. Holla at your boy. Let's get it. Let's get it. If y'all feeling undefeated today, hit that like button one time. If you're still undefeated, now that it's 4:57 p.m. on Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. If you're still undefeated, hit that subscribe button as well, man. It's one of them days, baby. It's one of those days. Yes. The Tryon Gardner. Shout out to the Tryon Gardner for his third overall super chat, or their third overall super chat. Simply say McCormick in terms of Mason McCormick or Spencer Anderson. I can't make that decision right now. I'd have to watch the tape on the full Mason McCormick experience, but at the same time, I would say this, man. This was Spencer Anderson's third career start. So, yeah, you're not going to be perfect, man. If he was going to be perfect, he would have been a, higher end draft pick and have already been starting his career. But to me, man, I think he's been valiant in his efforts to replace Seyumalu while Seyumalu's been injured. I'm hoping that Seyumalu's back sooner rather than later. I think they said he was starting back to get into practice, or I wouldn't say all the way back to practice, but he was like doing some on-field work or something like that this past week. So hopefully that's getting closer. But, like I said, I have to watch the tape on those two dudes specifically to be able to tell you one way or the other about them, man. All right. We got Royal Blooded. Shout out to Royal Blooded. 5th overall super chat from the heart. Greatly appreciate you, baby. Dude, did the Vikings... Oh, man. Ravens scored again? All right. 14-3. I missed that. Hey. Oh, yeah. X-Concept. Shout out to Scotty Miller. Yeah, I like what I saw from Scotty today, man. Definitely underrated signing, man. His speed, his clutch ability, and overall his just safety valve. That's what he's been a little bit of. So I'm digging that. I'm definitely digging it. But Royal Blooded says, not saying trade them, but with Dan Moore and Alex Highsmith, with all our draft picks, we got everything we need to trade for a superstar wherever we need one to push for a title run. Yes and no from my perspective. All right. Dan Moore and Alex Highsmith for two dudes that have been starting for the past 3 years. One's a second contract guy. One's a guy that's going to get paid by somebody this offseason, right? With both of those dudes, man, you create a bigger hole than you think by moving on from them at this stage. And the reason why I say that is this. I'm a big fan of Nick Herbig. You already know that's the dude I say is the next breakout guy for the defense. But I still feel like what I get from Alex, I could look at it and say, okay, I think Herbig has the potential to be a better, just pure pass rusher than Highsmith. But I think that's more so because of the frame and the style of player that Herbig is. A little bit more, I think, loose in terms of the athleticism. Kind of has a little bit of that basketball, can shake and bake you, whereas with Highsmith, it's more of a power, game. But I love the spin move, right? And obviously, that's his signature, and he's had a high-end sack season before, going for 14 and a half sacks. That's crazy, okay? I think with Herbig, you see how he has the ability to rush both sides. Obviously, Highsmith can do it as well, but I think that's early on. I'm like, I can see where Herbig could potentially be the better pure pass rusher down the line. But I think the difference to me still at this stage is watch Highsmith versus the run. Herbig plays the run well, but Highsmith is playing it like a dude that's been doing this thing for a while. And I just think for me with Highsmith, he's the more complete player at this stage, whereas with Herbig, he's just younger. I think he has the talent to be the better player long term, but that's down the line. I mean, with Highsmith, man, he's been doing this thing for, 5-6 years now. He's stacking them years up, low key. Shout out to Highsmith, man. But that's the thing that I would say, man. I think for me, I like that part of Highsmith's game a little bit better still. But in time, man, Herbig is going to keep doing what he's doing, man. And eventually, he's going to make it a tough decision over there. But I just think right now, if you move on too soon, I think you could put yourself in a little bit more of a bind. You don't want to do that at that position. You would much rather have too many pass rushers than not enough pass rushers. And then with Dan Moore, man, right now, Troy is hurt. Out. Indefinitely, right? If we move on from Dan Moore at any point in time, we have created chaos at our tackle positions. I'm not ready to do that in the least bit, man. So to me, I think both of those dudes, man, I don't want to touch either one in terms of trying to move them, especially in season. I think that we create more problems than we need to have by moving on from either one of those dudes. So I would say pass on that royal-blooded, but I like your energy, though. I like how you thinking. We might be straight, though. We might. Calvin Austin keep doing that. We could be all right. All right, Christian 15213. He says, at this point, Moats, was it Kenny or Canada or equally both? I'm saying Kenny, but what you say? But what say you? I told you, man. They both go hand in hand, but I always say player over coach because who is the person that's on the field? That's always been my energy. That's always been my constant. And that's why I'm not a big fan of the fire coach, whatever crowd, man. Because we get that anytime our favorite players or the players that we want to be successful aren't doing what, aren't producing to a manner that we want. We look to blame others versus looking at the person that's on the field and saying, why isn't he doing so? It's like, man, we don't need to minimize their role. Nah, just own it. And to me, I think that was why, like I said, with both of them dudes, I said they both have areas where they could have been better. But when you're on the field, you still have the ability to change it. You still have the ability to overcome, the call, to overcome the adversity. And I just didn't feel like that was happening more frequently enough. And the flip side is when you look at Justin Fields now, it's like, man, it hasn't always been perfect out there. But his ability to overcome. Same thing in Chicago. It's like you can watch him on tape, and it's like statistically he's being asked to do a ton. So that's why he's going to have some of these turnovers. Because it's like, man, when you out here and you got to throw the ball 30-something times or you got to make every single play at this level, man, yeah, you're going to make mistakes, man. And especially for young players, they make a lot of mistakes. So to me, that kind of was making sense. But now, as we can see him in this style of offense with just the type of talent that we have, it's like, man, he's more settled in. He's more insulated. And now he doesn't have to be the hero for 4 quarters. It's like, pick your spots. And I think he's doing a great job at doing just that. And as long as he keeps doing that, man, him and Arthur Smith, I think, are going to have a great time here in Pittsburgh, man, because we love football. All right. And the way that they're playing right now, making us love them. So shout out to them dudes, man. But that's why I say, with Kenny and Canada, man, it sucks that it didn't work out, long term for either one of those guys. But that's how it is in the NFL. We don't have 10 years to let you develop. We don't have 5 years to let you get on the same page and develop. We want it within a couple of months. So, you either get it done or we're going to move on, man. But we'll see like I said, man, how this thing continues to age out with Arthur Smith and Justin Fields and their dynamic as well. Oh, all right. Seattle's up now. Was it? Oh, that's right. They should be up 17-3. Miami don't have a quarterback. Okay, San Fran's up 14-0. Okay. Carolina scored again. 14-7 on the Raiders. All right. Okay. We're gonna see. Tyler from the 334 says, "Do you see Russ wanting to stay as a backup? He looks locked in on the sideline, but has to be frustrated. But has to be a frustrating situation. And what was that screenplay about?" Couple of things, man. Would Russ want to stay as a backup? No. Nobody wants to stay a backup. Everybody wants to be the man you want to play. But would he? Yeah. Russ is Russ, man. Russ is the ultimate team guy. Like, you don't hear locker room cancer. You don't hear any type of negative talk from Russ. Russ is going to uplift. Russ is the glue guy. Russ is going to make sure that everybody around is positive minded. All right. Like, that's just who he is. And that's why you see him be locked in on the sideline. Is he frustrated? Absolutely. Number one, you're frustrated with yourself because you're hurt. He can't be out there because he's not available. That's the first thing that drives you nuts, because as a competitor, you and your body are so locked in. Like, you can tell, man, if you are a pound overweight or underweight, man. So let alone when you actually have some serious discomfort, man, it really can get to you mentally. And then you throw that into, I'm in a new situation. I'm coming out of a terrible situation. I was in a QB competition. They said I won the competition, but I'm still hurt. So I can't even go out there and show you what I'm actually capable of. And now this kid is actually improving, and he's improving not just because of Arthur Smith, not just because of the scheme, but also because of me being here. I help him out, so with all of that, it's like this dude is being the absolute best version of what a professional should be. And I think he also understands that you're a play away and it's a long season. So would he want to stay as a backup? Nah, probably not. Is he frustrated with the situation? Probably is. But will he stay? I think he definitely will. And will he still be a awesome teammate and leader for the team? I think he absolutely will. And if it ever came a time this season, if Justin Fields, started to play bad, right? Or even if Justin Fields got hurt, I think Russ would be more than ready, if he is healthy, to go out there and show what he can do. But this is where we are right now, man. Granted, it's still just 3 games. So that's the other part of this thing, man. We know how quickly everything changes. You go out here these next 2 games, you throw, you turn the ball over 4 or 5 times. Nobody's going to be talking like how we talking today. Nobody is going to be feeling about Justin Fields the way that we feel like about him today. So that's the other thing that we got to make sure that we are understanding of. And that's the part with Justin Fields where it's like, this is a great start, but you have to keep this up. I think it's his job to lose, but I think he has to keep this up. I don't think he's allowed to go out there and have, a terrible performance or, start having the offense look sluggish. I think if that's the case, yeah, Coach Tomlin would be a lot more inclined to switch it back to Russ. But I feel like for right now, based off of how Fields is playing, we haven't seen him play bad just yet. We haven't seen him have the costly turnovers or the bonehead plays. He's been looking good. He's been looking sharp. So as long as that's the case, man, you roll with him. All right, let's see. We got Christian 15213. He says, at this point, I am seeing Herbig play much better than Alex Highsmith. It's not just this week. The other side is better with question mark. No, man. So put it like this. Highsmith, we already know, was dealing with a growing injury since training camp. That's why he missed a lot of training camp and a lot of the preseason. Has Herbig flashed? Yes, he definitely has. And I think that both of those dudes play extremely well. But at the same time, I think that if you move on from a Highsmith, you put a lot more pressure and a lot more strain on Herbig and on that position group. Because, like I said, when you are the guy that's kind of rotating in, it helps. You know, you got fresh bodies, man. I think at one point when Highsmith went out, we were rotating. I think DeMarvin Leal got reps out there. DeMarvin, I like what I'm seeing from him, but at the same time, it's like, man, we know pass rush, man. Highsmith, Herbig, Watt, them dudes, man, they the ones for us right now. So that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, and we obviously know, man, when you're coming off of a game when you get 2 sacks, everybody's gonna ask this question: oh man, should you switch? Should you do it? Let's continue on though. I'm a massive Herbig fan. You know, I'm a massive Highsmith fan. But let's see him continue to build upon this. I think it's a different convo if, you know, you going out here in the next 2-3 weeks, you go out here and continue on 2 sacks, sure. But we're not talking about a guy that, you know, only had a handful of sacks in his career. We're talking about Alex Highsmith. This dude didn't get you 14 plus sacks in a season. 7 sacks in a season. He didn't get you multiple high-level sack performances in a season. So I'm not about to just be over here like, oh, yeah, man, you got 2 sacks in the game? Oh, sure, come on. No. I'm going to let that thing play out a little bit more. Shout out to Highsmith, all right? But big fan of what I saw from Herbig. Hence the reason why I've been shouting him out since OTAs when I seen him again, baby. Tito with the good vibes. Shout out to Tito. And shout out to you catching it live, man. He said, shout out to the Coach T energy. Good guys are 3-0, not 0-3. You can say that again, baby. Love to see it, man. Love that. And, I mean, the way that we playing, I don't see why we can't go 4-0, man. You got to keep it up. I didn't actually get a chance to see the end of that Colts Bears game, but I think the Colts, I felt like they were about to get up out of there. I know, I think Caleb had just got the ball back with like 2 minutes left in the game, but I feel like the Colts should have got up out of there with a victory, so, you know, they'll be feeling good. Oh, the Spice Creation, the Colts did get it. Shout out to Spice. Okay. What a remix. Shout out to you, baby. Let's get it. So the Colts barely won. All right. Bust Down said the Colts defense looks legit, though. Okay. We know they got the big unit at quarterback, Anthony Richardson, baby. Okay. But I ain't tripping on him. I promise you I ain't tripping on him. Okay. And Alex Allgood says Shane Waldron sucks. I haven't cut on my Colts tape just yet, man. I'm gonna enjoy tonight. I'm gonna enjoy most of tomorrow. Yeah, then I'm gonna turn it on. Then we get that Colts tape going on. Cheer. Okay, though. But the Colts squeaked by. Shout out to the Colts, man. What did Caleb? Man, they said Caleb had 360 passing or something like that, man. But when I seen he only had 14 points, or I think it was 14 at the time, I was like, ooh. All right, I don't know what this is. All right, let's get back. Aaron Grant says, how much better do we get with Isaac Seumalo? I think we get a lot more better with Isaac Seumalo, man. Seumalo, number one, is a road grader when you watch him in terms of him versus the run. But then you also look at him in the pass element. He's just a very consistent pass blocker. We know it's been some times this season where Spencer Anderson has kind of drew some bad matchups, and I think he's fought valiantly, but we've seen some of the success that some of those guys have been able to have against Spencer. I just think with Seumalo, man, it's a little bit higher caliber of a player, and this is a guy that has started on a team that played in the Super Bowl, man. You know, and just was, 2 years ago? Yeah, with the Eagles. So, to me, man, I just think we get a lot better with him. Very similar to when we talked about James Daniels coming over here. And we talked about how it helped and upgraded us. We talk about at center, right? Going from Mason Cole, who I think is a good player, to Zach Frazier this year, who I think has the potential to be a really, really good player, you know, and hopefully even a great player, right? But you watch, you know, just that movement and you can see, oh, man, all right, yeah, it's a little bit different. So I think with Seumalo, we would have a very similar feel to that, man. I'm excited to see what a Seumalo, Zach Frazier, James Daniels situation looks like, man. So we'll see, man. We will see. Oh, man, I know y'all ain't said IU got another drop pass today. Oh, I know you ain't just say that, Jobby Berg. I know he ain't dropped one. Oh, man. See, this is crazy. Holding on for all that money, man. Making all that noise. Lord, Lord, Lord. Everybody on your neck right now, man. Oh, yeah, he did drop that. You got to catch that. Definitely got to get that one, baby. All right. Let's get back to it. Xavier TG. He says, Fields is QB1. Only thing dangerous is his calf. Oh, man, what Russ do to you, man? Russ is a good guy. Russ has it's nothing negative about Russ in this outside him just being hurt, man. But shout out to Fields, though, man. Fields is doing what he's supposed to. Take advantage of your opportunity. When a guy opens that door because he is hurt, you get on that field and make it where you can't get pulled off, or you make it so daggone hard for the coaching staff to make that decision, man. And I think Justin Fields is doing exactly that. Justin Fields is doing exactly what you want to see if you're a Fields supporter, man. You want him to come out here, protect the football. You want him to come out here, make smart decisions with the football. You want him to come out here, lead scoring drives. You want him to come out here, be clutch when we need him to be clutch. And more importantly, you want him to come out here and lead us to victories. And that's what he's doing, man. He's doing all those things right now, man. So with Fields, like I said, until we see otherwise from him, man, you got to roll with him, baby. You got to roll with him. But like I said, that takes nothing away from Russ. Russ is just hurt. When you get hurt, you open the door, and this is the dangers of it. The longer guys get opportunities at this level, guys are talented, man. And with Justin Fields specifically, he's really talented. And now you got him in a system where he's starting to feel a lot more comfortable, and the coaching staff is finding ways to get more comfortable with him. And I thought it really showed up once again today, baby. Eddie T weight loss journey. Shout out to Eddie T weight loss journey. Hopefully the weight loss journey is going awesome, baby. He says, Steelers do well when the offense isn't George Pickens heavy. QB sharing the wealth is great for the team. I do agree. This is the whole, do you want to have a star receiver that you are like force feeding, or do you want to have just a group of really goods where you could just kind of spread it around and we're not only focused on this player right here? In today's offense, that was a little bit of the vibe. Now, part of that was because of how the Chargers defensively were playing against GP. A lot more of the too high look, man. They ultimately keep safety hope over top. And, I mean, Phil still had that one throw right before the half, and we hit some in that little two shell and the little cover two hole. But, you know, with that being the case, yeah, we did spread it around a little bit more. I thought Pat Freiermuth, man, played well. What did he end with, actually? Yeah, 4 catches, 33 yards. I was going to say, I thought Move, man, he had a nice little productive day on him as well, man. GP still had 5 for 57, Long for 27, like I just talked about. Scotty Miller ended up 2 for 31. So, you know, definitely like the production out of that group right there, man. Absolutely. But, yeah, when you're kind of being able to go with the well-rounded approach or hitting multiple players approach, opens up the door for you, man. So, I like that. I'm with you. All right, we have Tyron joining the upper room. So shout out to Tyron and welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And then the last super chat to come in the building, Royal Blooded, says Malik Willis might just end up with the better career over Kenny Pickett. Interesting. Did not watch the Packers game. I saw that they won, though, right? Yeah, they won and Minnesota won. That was the other surprise. I did not see what Willis did, though. I know I think he had a screen touchdown. But, yeah, I don't know what he, finished with, man. So, you know. But Deke ain't worried about Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett right now. I'm sure he is on the Justin Fields train. He might pull up tomorrow for the podcast with a Justin Fields jersey on. I know he's smoking somebody's Chargers backwood pack. You know how Deke do. Deke gonna have that Chargers pack in the air. Deke gonna have a Fields jersey soon. I can feel it, man. So, it's a good vibe, man. That's what we need, though. I like the vibes. Like where we at right now, man. I like it a lot, baby. So, let's keep this thing rolling, man. But, that will do it for today's show, man. Definitely was a vibe, man. Kicking it on the 3-0 vibe out. Obviously, I was taking care of business against the Chargers today, 20-10. So, you know the drill. Hit that like button one final time and subscribe if you have not done so. Obviously, you know, we got the podcast tomorrow, 4 o'clock, so definitely tap in. You don't want to miss it, man, as we react even more. Me and homie Deke talking about the game and stuff like that. And if you want any other updates, man, that we got, because we got a ton of content dropping on the channel from me, Deke, Tyler, Dom, TG. Check out the website, arthurmoats.com. All right. But either way, I appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, baby. Peace.